I believe that ultimately there is one power that is greater than any despot, the power of the human spirit. I believe that.
At 87 years old, Morgan Freeman continues to defy what we think we know about aging. While others slow down, he's still working, still traveling, still commanding attention with that deep, unforgettable voice. His posture is upright, his gaze still focused, and his energy undeniable. It's almost surreal to witness. Because how many people nearing 90 years old still ride horses, still narrate feature-length documentaries, and still walk with the poise of a man in complete control of his body and mind? Freeman's secret doesn't lie in expensive supplements, controversial biohacks, or grueling fitness routines. No, what's most surprising is that much of his vitality comes from what he refuses to eat. That's right, the food choices he avoids are arguably just as important as the ones he includes. Today, we'll explore the 5 things Morgan Freeman never eats and why cutting them from your life could be a turning point in your health. And stay with us until the end, because we'll share a recent, powerful revelation Freeman made about his health that left even his closest fans shocked. Let's begin with the first and most aggressive offender in Freeman's nutritional blacklist. Number 1, processed meats. Morgan Freeman has been very intentional about managing inflammation. That's because he lives with a condition called fibromyalgia, a chronic illness that causes widespread pain, stiffness, and fatigue. Over the years, Freeman has done a deep dive into anti-inflammatory living, and one of the first things he cut out was processed meats, including bacon, hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats. These meats contain nitrates, sodium, and artificial preservatives that don't just weigh down the body, they create low-grade inflammation, which for someone with fibromyalgia is like adding fuel to a fire that never goes out. Freeman has been quoted saying he hasn't touched processed meats in years, and his meals instead consist of lean proteins like grilled fish, lentils, and organic poultry. Not only does this help him manage his pain, but it also supports cardiovascular health and energy levels, and modern science agrees. Studies over the last few years have linked processed meats with increased risk of colon cancer, heart disease, and chronic fatigue. For Freeman, cutting them out was not a diet, it was a necessary commitment to long-term wellness. Number 2, refined sugars. Morgan Freeman has also sworn off refined sugars, and not just because of weight gain. He believes sugar directly affects his brain, his energy, and his emotional stability. Refined sugar, especially in the form of high fructose corn syrup, is everywhere. In soft drinks, desserts, breakfast cereals, sauces, and even so-called healthy snacks. Freeman says he used to enjoy sugary drinks and desserts, but over time, he noticed they left him feeling foggy and tired, so he decided to cut them out completely. No soda, no candy bars, no store-bought desserts. Instead, he satisfies his sweet tooth with fruits like berries, apples, and the occasional drizzle of honey. These natural sugars don't spike his blood sugar in the same destructive way refined ones do. What's even more fascinating is that after removing refined sugar from his diet, Freeman reported a noticeable improvement in his memory and ability to concentrate. That's no coincidence. In 2024, a study from Johns Hopkins confirmed that high sugar intake was correlated with early cognitive decline, especially in adults over 65. In other words, sugar doesn't just affect your waistline, it can accelerate aging in your brain. Freeman took this seriously, especially considering the demands of his career. Memorizing scripts, engaging in complex conversations, and maintaining emotional depth in performances require clarity, and sugar, he realized, was stealing that clarity from him. Number 3, white bread and refined carbohydrates. While bread may seem innocent enough, white bread and other refined carbohydrates are something Freeman avoids entirely. These include traditional pastas, pastries, white rice, and just about anything made with enriched white flour. Why? Because these foods convert quickly into glucose, causing rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by sharp crashes. These fluctuations can lead to fatigue, cravings, mood swings, and over time, insulin resistance. Freeman replaced these refined carbs with nutrient-dense alternatives like brown rice, steel-cut oats, sweet potatoes, and quinoa. These complex carbs release glucose slowly, keeping energy levels consistent and cravings at bay. He once said in an interview that eating white bread made him feel heavy and sluggish. almost like his body was working against him instead of with him. When he made the switch to whole foods, he found his energy more stable throughout the day, and his sleep improved too. It's worth noting that refined carbs are also linked to inflammation, just like sugar and processed meat. For Freeman, cutting them out wasn't about jumping on a health trend. It was a matter of daily comfort and preserving his independence. As someone who still performs, travels, and runs a working farm, every bit of energy counts. And refined carbs, he realized, were a hidden drain on his stamina. Number 4, soda and artificial beverages. Freeman has publicly criticized soda, both regular and diet, calling them one of the most damaging beverages in modern society. Whether it's a can of cola or a bottle of fruit punch, if it contains artificial sweeteners, dyes, or excessive sugar, it doesn't enter his system. His reasoning is both practical and personal. Firstly, the ingredients in soda, phosphoric acid, high fructose corn syrup, aspartame, and chemical dyes, are directly tied to metabolic disorders and weakened bone health. And for older adults, this is a serious concern. But it's not just about avoiding illness. Freeman also believes in giving his body fuel, not fake energy. Artificial beverages create a short-term sense of satisfaction, but ultimately leave you dehydrated and drained. Instead, his daily drinks include water, fresh-pressed juices, herbal teas, and sometimes smoothies made with spinach, almond milk, turmeric, and a splash of lemon. These aren't indulgences, they're fuel. They hydrate his cells, support brain function, and even help reduce the aches and stiffness that come with age. Interestingly, a 2023 review in the journal Nutrients confirmed that even diet sodas, long believed to be harmless, are linked to gut microbiome imbalances and metabolic slowdown. Freeman was ahead of the curve when he said years ago, "If you don't understand the ingredients, don't drink it." Number 5, fast food. This one may not come as a surprise, but the level of discipline Freeman applies to it is admirable. Fast food, in all its forms, has been off his plate for over 2 decades. He's talked openly about the seductive power of convenience, how easy it is to grab a burger, fries, and shake when you're tired or traveling. But he says that what fast food gives you in convenience, it steals in strength, focus, and long-term health. The oils used in fast food are often cheap, heavily refined, and reused multiple times. Add that to processed buns, artificial sauces, and sodium-heavy sides, and you're eating a chemical cocktail that the body struggles to process. Freeman simply doesn't see the point. He says, if a meal is ready before you are, it probably isn't worth eating. His meals are simple, often home-cooked, and filled with whole foods like greens, legumes, avocado, olive oil, fresh herbs, and wild-caught fish. He doesn't count calories. He doesn't follow fads. He just eats real food that his body recognizes, and the results speak for themselves. Now you might be thinking, does Morgan Freeman ever indulge? Doesn't he have cheat days? According to him, indulgence isn't about destroying your progress. It's about finding joy in clean, nourishing foods that don't leave you feeling guilty or sick afterward. His version of a treat might be a homemade apple crisp with cinnamon and oats, or a small glass of red wine with dinner, not a trip through the drive-thru. And now, as promised, here's the surprising update about Freeman's health that recently surfaced. In an interview from late 2024, Morgan Freeman revealed that his doctors were stunned by his biological age. His body tested as being nearly 20 years younger than his chronological age. His blood pressure, cholesterol, and inflammation markers were all in the optimal range, something most people in their 60s struggle with, let alone in their late 80s. When asked what he credits most, he didn't hesitate. It's not about magic. It's about what you refuse to tolerate. Once you remove the poisons, the body remembers how to heal. Simple, true. Morgan Freeman shows us that you don't need to chase youth. You need to respect your body, and that starts with what's on your plate. So now, we turn the question to you. What are you still tolerating that you know is holding you back? Is it sugar, soda, that weekly fast food habit that's become a ritual? Maybe today's the day to draw your own line, to take back control the way Morgan Freeman has. Because if he can ride a horse, memorize scripts, and live pain-free at 87, just imagine what small changes could do for you. If this inspired you, consider making just one change this week. Choose water over soda. Choose whole grains over white bread. Choose you. even in small ways. And if Morgan Freeman's example has lit a spark, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because age is just a number, but the choices you make, they determine your legacy. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay sharp, and stay true to what you deserve.